Today marks 7 years since a Prime Minister of Australia in Parliament stood up and provided a national apology to survivors of sexual abuse in institutions. I remember listening to the address live and realizing that I am currently being apologized to. And that was a bizarre feeling. It was a feeling of recognition, a recognition of the harm that ripples throughout your life as a survivor, that it's not a point in time thing, but it has far-reaching consequences. It impacts families, right? So I remember feeling that, but I also remember feeling the weight of collective shame and guilt of the Australian people, of a failure to keep young people safe, an acknowledgement of that. And paired with that, I remembered feeling hope. I felt hope because of the National Redress Scheme. It's a scheme that allows a modest payment, a recognition from the institution that harmed you, and some counselling. And I remember feeling relief that I no longer had to pay for my own counselling if I was eligible for this scheme. Now, in some ways, I don't think I'm qualified to be reflecting on this apology because I'm someone who had a successful redress application. And I think I know many people who haven't yet found their ability to come forward and tell their story. And this makes me fearful that as the redress scheme winds up in the middle of next year, they're stopping taking applications. It makes me wonder that actually, have we really learnt? Have we really grappled with the reality of child sex abuse in this country and the impacts it has over the life course? I think the answer to that is no. I think we see all we need to do is turn the news on, and every other day there's a story of a young person, a child in the care of the state, in a detention center, in a childcare center, right, in out-of-home care, of which people who are Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander and people with disability are overrepresented in those systems. The abuse is continuing. And I like a quote by Stella Young. Stella Young is a disability activist, and she says, apologies are great, but they don't really change anything, she says. Do you know what does? Action. And so when I think about action and what action could be taken, I think let's turn our sorries into ongoing redress. Let's expand redress to other institutions that aren't so narrow and aren't so narrowly participating. It's, the institution of the family, for example. We think about prevention, we think about restorative justice, institutional reform. Let's turn our sorries into funding local solutions led by Indigenous and community-led organisations. And let's turn our sorries into appointing survivor victims as leaders of our organisations, of our think tanks, of our justice apparatuses, and our government departments. Because we can't afford 7 more years without bold action. This country has the resources to allow this healing to happen. Let's get to it.